Welcome to a very special episode of the Waffle Shop can't even know the name of my own show. Cracking Star Waffle Shop podcast. I'm joined by Seb Fitzharris, DJ, Bolton legend, and fellow curry lover. Face to face.
Face to face. I'm here. I'm in the flesh.
This is weird because literally all of these have mainly been recorded out of my bedroom. I've only done like 2 in here. So this is big. You've travelled.
Is this am I the third?
Third.
I'm the third.
Which is like third for worst. Third worst. Was it? No, first the worst, isn't it?
I'm the third one. I've also travelled 3 hours to get here. Do you know what I mean? It's like it was meant to be.
Make it worth it. Well, slightly to dampen the mood a little bit, I start each one of my shows with something called the Weekly Waffle, which is something minor that once I've got it off my chest, it makes me feel better. 9 times out of 10 doesn't make me feel better, but it's good for the content, isn't it? It's good content.
Exactly. Start thinking about what I'm doing.
I felt like a bead of sweat like collect on top of my forehead. But the thing that's bothered me this week, and to be fair, it happened today, and I heard someone tell someone else to man up. Right? Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but there's an aspect of man up that I feel like, okay, like pull up your pants, like, come on, let's like go for it kind of thing. But then there's an aspect of it that I feel like the way it was said was like, because the guy was visually kind of like a bit upset. That was like,
better things you can say.
Yeah, like he's probably at breaking point. Well, he could have been. I don't know. I didn't know the situation enough, but I hadn't heard those terms for quite a while.
I don't think I've heard anyone say man up in ages.
But that's the thing, I
don't know, it's like an older phrase, isn't it? I've not heard it in ages.
Bad.
Well, the way I see it, there's a lot. The thing is, not everyone goes through hard life situations, so they don't. That person who might be saying man up might have never had anything go bad for them in life. They've been taught man up when they're playing a bit of football and they're losing or something. But put them in a real life situation and tell them to man up and then see what happens. And
different ball game.
It'd be a different ball game, yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff. Like me personally, this week has been absolutely crazy. So I played my first festival set.
Amazing.
On a Saturday, restricted Forest. Been up to Lee and Joe for getting me on. And it was even. There were thousands there. And then whilst we're all in good spirits and everything, I wake up the next morning and this woman I'd worked with for years, and her fella has always been a ticket seller for years at all these festivals. She died. Didn't die at the festival, but got took in ambulance from the festival and died. And she had a 2-year-old son, and I was just mortified because do you know when you see a load of status of people you know on Facebook, and they're all putting these things, and you're going, "Who is it? It must be someone I know." And then when you find out who it is, you're like, "I can't believe it's them."
Yeah,
but you just proper it home. And then yesterday we actually went to a memorial for her at St. Greg's, the Phoenix Club, as everyone knows it. Phoenix nice. There were like hundreds of people. We all set off balloons for her and spoke to a fella. And I couldn't imagine what he was going through. And thing is, with Carl, I'm mates with him. It's not like I've ever been best mates. I've just known him for a long time because I've known Steph a long time. And we've always gone the same like events and stuff. And I said, honestly, I can't imagine what you're going through. Because the worst thing someone can say to you when you are going through losses, I know what you're going through. No, you don't.
You don't. It's so different.
It's the worst thing someone can say to someone. And I just said, if there's anything I can do, even if you just want to ring me and have a chat, because I know I'm not like one of your closest mates, so you might find it easier to open up to me. And that's all I did. And obviously, I know when I were on Go Hard or Go Home, that was the biggest thing because I went on so close after my mum's death.
Yeah.
Opening up to all them randomers was so much easier than opening up to any of my mates.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. So all this has come just from saying about manning up, it doesn't it? It spirals a lot of thoughts.
I think this is what, like, it's fair. Firstly, before we dive into that, is there anything that gets on your nerves that you want to...
Things that get on my nerves... There's a lot of stuff. So it does do me head in. It actually happened on train not way here when someone puts the stuff on the seat next to them. And they're even saying on tannoy, please don't put your bags on the chairs. And then people are coming up to them saying, oh, can I sit down? And they're like, oh. I'm like, there's rails above your head for put your luggage on. There's a luggage thing at the bottom. Like, what is your problem?
What have you got in there?
Do you know what I mean? Weirdos. Proper, it just does my head in. It does my head in, stuff like
It's
that.
the turt as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like as if like they own that seat, and you're like, it's busy. You're like, can I sit there? And like, it's like you don't own the train.
Oh, it's awful. That's what it does my head in. I've got big feet, me. 11 and a half, 12, some shoes. So many people walk on my feet or roll the suitcase over my toes.
I wonder what those lines were.
They don't even say anything. They're not even like, oh, sorry. It's just, oh, there's a bump. The bump is my foot.
Yeah.
I am the bump. And you've gone over it. Like, come on, like, what are you playing at? Well,
I am the bump.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I could end up sitting here all day talking about stuff that does my head in. You're chatting to a northerner now. I can moan for days.
Do you know, I think you are my first northerner on the show. I mean, I've had a Geordie on.
A Geordie, yeah, they don't count.
No. So I was going to start
they don't even speak English half the time. I spent 6 weeks with two of them on holiday. I say on holiday, we were just training. Yeah.
To be fair, valid points. I want to dive in to your journey. So I obviously discovered you on the TV show Go Hard or Go Home. And I'm not going to lie, I literally fell in love with you. The way you carried yourself, the way you kind of handled everything that was thrown at you in that TV show, going through what you were going through, mate, it was admirable. Like genuinely hand on heart. And I was like, I thought I'll watch the first one, see how it goes. And then I was like, this guy, like I need to talk to this guy, because there's a lot of people that we haven't been through the same thing, but there was a few similarities from either of us. And I've never kind of watched someone articulate it in a way that I would. And the way that you did it on that show was beautiful. So
appreciate that.
Like, honestly, it was one of the questions I do want to know. So for anyone who hasn't watched it, it's on the iPlayer at the minute, and there's a group of younger people that are Thailand.
No. So we're in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, nice.
And there's 8 warriors, 8 trainees, and these warriors, they're all fitness freaks. I'm not going to put it any other way. They're like Olympians.
Their abs
Thai
have
boxing
abs.
world champions. They're like elite coaches, extreme challenges. They're just proper weirdos about fitness. Like the kind of people that they're up at 4 a.m. and they go to bed at midnight, and even in the sleep they're thinking about exercise. Honestly though, I couldn't have been with. You need them people in your life though to motivate you and change your ways. And then us trainees were a bunch of 18 to 20. I think we're up to 20, 18 to 23-year-olds. Are all like depressed, really bad scenarios early on in life, even just full on drunkards.
But that's what I think it took me by surprise, because I thought when I first started watching it, it's just going to be a bunch of like, don't want to say like no hopers, but it was just like, they were kind of painting a picture to start off with of like the drunk, the party animals, this, that, and that. But once like the challenges hit and all the layers started to be peeled back,
it just changed the dynamic completely.
So interesting.
As soon as he introduced me on the show, 3 or 4 bottles of wine, 5 and a good night. Nice. You know what I mean? We're all laughing our heads off when we watched it. I thought they've painted me out to be a right pillock here from
with
the first minute.
Like, why did you apply for it?
So, well, I didn't. So, I'll give you the full journey. So, it were a bit mad, really, because I've not got like loads of followers on TikTok or anything. Like over 100,000 likes just from whenever I've done a rant and they've just popped up. And so they contacted me. do when you check your message requests on Instagram, can you
It's
just see
it's a
sometimes
risky place to be.
there's someone going to be there, and then I open this message request and it be like, "Hi Seb, we've seen your videos on TikTok. We think you're a really funny guy and all this, and we're wondering if you'd want to take part in a challenge show and all this." And I read it and I thought it's just some scam, and then I read it back and I thought, that doesn't sound like a scam. It sounds a bit weird. So then it said about wall to wall, which obviously Warner Bros. And I rung my agent because I do acting as well. And I said, "Have you heard of wall to wall?" And she was like, "I don't know." And she had a look, and then she went, "Yeah, it's Warner Bros." I went, "Well, I've had a message.
Maybe it's not a
I've
scam.
had a message." So she went, "Well, just go for it." And the thing is, my mum was diagnosed with cancer in November 2019. So at this point, when I got the message, it would have been, I think I got it probably about November 2021.
Yeah.
Might have not even been there because it was going on for months. It's like we did Teams calls, like asked me loads of stuff about myself. Obviously, I was telling about how I was carer for my mum.
Yeah.
Because of lockdown as well, the company I was working for at the time, I'm not there now, but I have a big respect to him. I work from home from the start of lockdown to be able to help look after my mum. So I looked after her the whole way. So every time I'm having a Teams call, it were all really fresh, and so I was speaking about it, and then the maddest thing were it got to like the last stage, and this were in 2022 in just been my mum's birthday, and then she got put back in the hospice, and they said, "Look, she's not got long left." So I was with her all day that day in the hospice, and she said to me, she said, "No matter what happens, you're still going for this final audition tomorrow.
Yeah.
No matter what happening here with me, you're still going tomorrow. You're going to smash it." And I was with my mum from 11 in the morning, right up until 2 in the morning the following day. And me and Kane, my brother, we had all of her hands, and she was doing the death rattle and everything. And we said, "Mum, it's all right to go." And she did. And then I were up all night crying and couldn't sleep, nothing. So then it got to about 5 in the morning. I thought, I'm just going to have a shower. So I've been up since the following morning. I had a shower, cleaned my teeth. My mate picked me up, took me Mackie for a breakfast, and then got on the train to London to do this final audition for the show. And I didn't know what were in store. I didn't know whether we were having a chat or what. We're doing a fitness test because of the nature of the show. So we got there. I meet him at this swimming bath, and she's like, "Right, swim." I'm doing lengths underwater and holding my breath, and she's like, "You look like," she said, "Don't say wrong, you look really rough." Because like I'm telling you, I've been crying all night. I've got black eyes. I've not been sleeping. My cheeks were swelled up. And I said, "Well, my mum died a few hours ago." And they said, "Well, why have you come?" I said, "Well, you said you wanted a warrior. So
respect that.
If you wanted a warrior, then here I am." And she told me to be here. And then so I had a big chat with the executive producer, the head of the actual show, for about an hour. And he was saying, "You sure you want to be in?" And I said, "Look, I know what I've come and signed up for." I was doing bleep tests, reach tests, jump tests,
I got
everything.
PTSD from
everything. And then we had this big hour chat, and then 3 weeks later, my mum's wake. So we've done the funeral. I'm at my mum's wake, and I got the call. "You're going to the Dominican next week." How crazy is that? So the day she died, I went for the audition, and the day we put her to rest, I got the part. So that were her. And that's the way I see it. And she's watching over. It's mad, that, isn't it? It's proper mad. And
respect. Honestly, that couldn't have been
the thing. It couldn't have come at a better time, because the thing is, I was only 22 when my mum died, and I live in a council house. I live in a rough area in Bolton, Great Lever. And there's a lot of people who would have gone through similar things to me, and they could have dealt with things completely different. Like I know what I did were completely wrong at first. So from the date of my mum dying to a funeral, thing is, my brother had already had an holiday booked, which he said he had to go on, and so had my missus. So like I were on my own for about a week and a half straight after she died. So like I were going getting death certificates with my auntie. I were arguing with the council to keep the house because obviously we have a 3-bedroom house. They try and downsize you. So, and my brother's autistic, and I put it straight to him. I said, "Look," I said,
it's too much
change for someone with autism is massive." I said, "His mum's just died." I said, "If you want to move us out, it's on your head, not mine." They went, "Oh, no." I went, "Right then." So I turned up at the council office, got them to sign it straight away. But then in that 3-week period, from 2nd of April to, I'm sure it was the 21st when we put her to rest, I were having about 5-6 bottles of wine every night. So not even during the day. I weren't binge drinking.
Yeah.
It was just I was dealing with that much shit during the day. I was like, oh, fucking hell, I need a drink. And I do about 5-6 bottles of wine. And before I put about 2 stone on in the space of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I look like a bag of shit with arms and legs.
I think this is why I wanted to talk to you as much as I did, because I fully respect everything that you did for your mom. Like it's admirable. But I went through a similar thing. I haven't lost my mom. My mom's now in a neurological care home. She needs 24-hour care. Whereas at that period of time, everything was on my shoulders. And I felt like I had nowhere to turn to. I didn't turn to not that you turn to alcohol and you weren't an alcoholic, but I did the same with food. So I overate to a point where like I was sick. I was like, I look back now and I think it was just to feel something different that wasn't sad or like anger or anything like that.
You just excessively overdo something. And that's what a lot of people do. Obviously, some people turn to drink, food, drugs. Like my brother used comfort eat a lot for school when he got bullied and stuff. So I completely get it. And that's the biggest thing. Is it's about speaking out. My biggest problem throughout the whole mum's illness is that I never ever spoke.
Yeah.
I never told my missus how I was feeling. No one, because all I used to say all the time is, "She's not dead yet, so I'll cry when she's gone." And it was the worst mistake I could have done, because then when she did die, it hit me so much harder, because I was constantly trying to be strong for her and being strong in front of my brother and being strong in front of my missus and trying to be strong in front of everyone. That I ended up being this broken man at the end of it, and it was just crazy.
If you could, like, in hindsight now, because there's so many times when, especially looking back at the situation I was in, just to be like, just ask for help. Just there was so many moments when it was like on the tip of my tongue. In hindsight, is there anything that you would tell yourself?
All I would say is speak.
Yeah.
Speak to someone. Like even now, sometimes when I feel like I can't speak to someone, I'll video what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I know I've got it out. Because if I don't get it out, then I'm in a bad mood, and I know that's why. Because it's just in the back of my mind. Because losing my voice here. On that for a podcast, won't we? But speak. That's why I was saying, like, then with my mate Carl, I said to him straight away, like, no matter when it is, and I try to be there for a lot of people because of how I felt. Because
But you don't want other people to feel the same way, do you?
I honestly, I've said to him, I would not wish it on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't. The pain that I went through is just like problem is as well. Everything reminds me of her. Like 2 years ago, we were on our last holiday together in Morecambe in a caravan when England were, I think about Euros then, wasn't it? World Cup, one or other. And all memories are coming up on Facebook, and I constantly, every single day, I look at my mum's Facebook to see if someone has shared a story that
Yeah.
I might have never known.
Oh,
Oh,
mate. Come on.
it's just every day she's with me. I got her, she's in it. I've got a fingerprint in my mullet. It's just everywhere I take her with me.
Do you want a minute?
No, it's
You
all
sure?
right. It's all right. Ash getting taught me, and Fish got me doing it a lot. It's an honour to speak about me mum.
Yeah.
It makes me cry, but it's good because if I didn't get all these emotions out, then back to my
And do
own
you know what,
point,
mate?
how would I
Like,
feel?
this is exactly why I respect you as much as I do, because I mean, I'm 33. You're a lot younger than me. Not to sound like condescending or anything, but like, I wish I had my head on. Like, no, I wish I had your head on my shoulder. Whatever. Now it just sounds weird. Like, I wish. You know what I'm
I know
trying
what
to
you're
say.
saying.
When I was going through what I did, because it is tough. Like, I'm in a situation where like I'm kind of grieving for someone who isn't dead. I've watched a woman who used to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning hoovering her astroturf, like running around like a blue ass fly, to now
She can't even look
require
after herself.
24 hour
And
and it's
I know exactly what you're saying there because that's what brought me my mum. My mum used 8 mile every day. She used to do an 8 mile speed walk. She was known for walking that
yeah,
area up to motorway and round. And I watched her go from that to this woman who couldn't even get up the
yeah,
stairs, wobbling and limping and like couldn't even wash herself. And it was just heartbreaking. I watched
yeah,
her go from this woman in her 50s to just by the time she was 61 when she was she 61 when she passed. Yeah, by the time she was 61 when she was passed, it was like she was 91.
yeah.
She
Oh, that
she
makes me
looks
fucking proud of
it
you.
made her look so old, and I just felt awful on it.
Was there times like when? Firstly, obviously, thank you for sharing that.
No, it's
Honestly,
all
mate,
right.
honestly you inspiration. Was there times on the show where obviously I've seen how intense those challenges were? Like, were there moments where you were like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much.
Well, with the show, it was mad. The thing is, we didn't even know before we went on it. All we got told originally that we were going to overcome mental and physical health,
Yeah.
and then we had an idea that we're going to have some mad athletes probably training us.
Yeah.
And then as we're in our isolation period because of COVID, obviously, I was staying in this like hotel, a bit like Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and then they told us it's a competition.
Yeah.
You're going to be up against people, and I went, oh,
Ah, okay.
well, I've got something to fight for.
Yeah.
Got something to lose 2 stone for, and I tell you what did proper throw me off, that I didn't get to pick me warrior because I got the best fitness time. Me who hadn't been sleep all night and lost my mum. All them lazy
Do you know
gits
what?
got worse times. How did that work?
Grief, no sleep works wonders for the bleep.
How did that work? So then that's prop. I think that's why I won that first challenge
Yeah.
because I was fuming. I thought, this is a load of toss. I'm punished for being apparently fit. I might have been fitter 2 weeks ago when I did this test. Said I put 2 stone on since I did that. Do you know what I mean? So on the show, the only one where I thought it. So it didn't really show it until like the final episode, but
Yeah.
I did a mini tour on my quad in my first challenge with Fish when we did absolutely pants. And
also, one of my favorite things ever is watching Fish try to do a puzzle.
oh god, she's awful. I'm not even bothered, Fish. She knows.
So bad.
She's the worst. She's the worst. Best person, you need strength and actual like tactics for an activity. But as soon as it comes to a puzzle, I'm trying to sort it, and then she's like, I'm like, oh, Fish, you're baffling my head now. What are you talking about? When I've watched it back, I thought, Christ, because I was good at puzzles. I don't know what went on.
There was points where I was like screaming at the
but
TV.
it was what we really had from that point. Then when I did the mini tour on my quad, I didn't actually run until the final, and they were like a 2 week space.
Ah,
So in every challenge, I couldn't do 100%.
yeah,
I could with my arms, could with everything else, but when it comes to using my legs, I
couldn't do
really
it.
couldn't. And so that's why when we did the water challenge, it was the next challenge after I did the mini tour, the actual main one. I ended up coming fourth by 1 second, but it was the swimming. I was swimming with one leg. Like I couldn't
Yeah.
kick my leg. I didn't show it. I didn't show it, luckily. But
Just go around in a circle.
so everyone sets off, and I go like this, completely to the right, and then I hear coach shout 7. I'm looked. I'm like, whoa, wow, everyone's over there. I ain't get over the way. I'm just swimming with my arms because I couldn't physically kick with my
Yeah.
leg, and it were mad. And then we did the rock climbing one where like you turn up this gorgeous cliff face. And then like, right, climb it. I was like, whoa, climb it. I've always been crap at rock climbing. I'm a proper clumsy person with my big daft feet and everything. And then next minute they go, right, you got to climb that, and Ashley Kane's going to chase you up the cliff.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
One of the fittest men
Yeah.
in Britain is going to chase you up a cliff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Marvellous. Yeah, that'll go well. And it actually did somehow. I think maybe if Ash didn't chase me, I might have not hit the gong. God knows. And what Joe that about that challenge? Every other warrior, because obviously we had someone else's warrior chasing us. Every other warrior were like cheering on the person.
Yeah.
Like, come on, keep going. What do you think Ash were doing?
Screaming, yeah.
Just making noises.
Because that's not going to pick
I'm coming. And I was thinking, crap.
You don't really need any motivation.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
He was just chasing me, yeah. He was gutted that he didn't catch me. Everyone else, like, if they didn't catch, like, oh, well done. He was fuming.
This was, I'm going to put them lights on.
No worries. So I'm about to say it's not made much of a difference, to be fair. But it will do when it's. I don't even get dim yet, does it? We're still in summer.
Oh. Okay. One of the nicest things I think I loved about the show was, like you've got these kind of like athletes, top of their game, like real kind of, you wouldn't want to like go up against them. But I think with you guys showing as much vulnerability as you did, like they started to show like their vulnerabilities, like their stories, which then just had this like ripple effect across like everyone. And it was just like a real nice reminder, like literally regardless of how fit you are, how like mentally fit you think you are, whatever walk of life you're from, we're all feeling it. We all go through something. And it was something like that. Like I didn't know what to expect from the show, but it was just this real kind of, it made me feel good.
It ended up becoming a lot more like a big family.
Yeah.
And the producers didn't originally think it would go like that. I don't even think they actually wanted it to go like that. Because they wanted it to like be a fierce competition. But because of everyone's scenarios, we're just going to end up like that. And I don't even know if they're doing another series, which I'm gutted if they don't, because honestly, I do not know where I would be if I didn't go there. Bear in mind, I only went the week after my mum's funeral. If I'd have carried on the way I were, you could have been speaking to a 20-stone man or something now, and I could have killed myself or anything. Honestly, I could have gone down such a bad path because I had no plan of sorting myself out. I knew I had to, but you can't be bothered when you're in that situation. No. So I needed this show, and it gave me
there's a line that I read, and I think it was either you said it or I think Ash said it to you about victor, not victim. And it's one of those things that as soon as I read it, I had to read it like 2-3 times to let it sink in, because again, like it's not the same situation, but I wouldn't be sat here having this conversation with you if I hadn't started the podcast. I dread to fucking think where I would be if I didn't start the podcast. I started the podcast because of my mom. Like she told me, like, you need to keep going. Like, and it's like that kind of little reminder that like literally you can do anything. I mean, you being on that show proved you can fucking do anything. The only thing we're not allowed to do is give up. And you literally just radiate it. Like it's honestly, is there like a version of you that's like you must feel proud
Yeah,
of?
honestly, I really am looking at myself and what I've achieved, even since the show.
Yeah,
I'm very proud, and it's how many people I've heard of and spoke to about it, and it does make me very proud, and that's why I can know with a lot of people. I don't know who else like opens a lot of DMs and stuff,
mm,
but while the show were on, I must have had in excess of 1,000 people like messaging me,
wow,
and I replied to every single one. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not no bloody celebrity. I'm not.
yeah.
I'm not going to ignore people who are going through a situation. And I had
But I think
so many
that's why people are
people,
so drawn to you,
and
though.
I had so many people resonate and say, "Oh, I've been watching this. My mum's got cancer now, and it's just
Yeah,
really helped me see a different side and how I can do this." And for some lad from Bolton to be able to help so many people, that it's
yeah,
just priceless. That's worth more than anything. It's
great.
worth more
You're
than
incredible.
absolutely anything, and that's what I want to do: make a big difference. And that's why me and Dylan, we have got a lot of stuff in the
Mm.
works to make a big difference. Like we obviously ran the 10K. Oh, look at I'm taking
I know I
all
need to move the
taking all your stuff now.
thinking.
So we ran the 10K for Bolton Hospice in memory of my mum. They looked
Incredible.
after her. Because a lot of people, what's mad, they don't even know what hospices are. And hospices, they're all over the country. And what the hospice does is they're the ones who look after you or your loved ones when you're at the end of
Yeah.
life. And they're not funded. You have that
Yeah.
they've run off donations. And I prefer charities and stuff where if you put money in, this is
You
what's
can, but
happening with it.
you've experienced the
Yeah,
difference.
because
You
I
know, yeah.
hate big charities where you put your money in and
You don't know where it's
it's
going, do
gone
you?
it's
You
gone
don't know
into
where
the
it's going.
executive director's pocket.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Do you know what I mean? I like seeing stuff that makes a change and makes a difference. So we've got a lot of charity events we want to do. Obviously, tomorrow we're running the 10K. Me, Dylan, Adil, and if Ty can make it, I know he will. But I know he's busy, as obviously
Yeah.
all of them are. And we're doing that for Ash's daughter's charity, the
Azalea
Azalea
Foundation.
Foundation, which
My second live show that I did in April, the ticket proceeds
I went
went
to
to the
the Azalea.
Azalea
It's
Foundation.
honestly, it's a top foundation, and me and Dylan were saying for time we wanted to do something for Ash because whilst we were Dylan's warrior, he's done a lot for me as well. And
Yeah.
since the show, I've spoke to Nez loads because she was gutted when she had to go when she
Yeah. Yeah.
did. And then I've spoke to Fish loads, Was quite a lot. Ash, it were around the time of my mum's birthday, and I was saying I'm a bit like, I'll be honest, Ash, I'm a bit like lost to what to do. I said I just feel like exploding, and he said you need to go and do I was going on little runs and stuff, but he said you need to push yourself further. He said on your
Yeah.
mum's birthday, go and run a 10K because you're saying you're going to do one for her in a few months. Do your first one
Yeah.
on your mum's birthday. He said that's what you need to work towards.
It's that kind of pain to purpose, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like you wouldn't wish what happened on like you said it earlier, like on your worst enemy, but there's also something I hate saying this 'cause it's kind of like almost grateful of the struggle. It's a weird
because
thing to say, but
it changes your
yeah,
perspective on everything. It really does, and that's why you've got to push yourself in life all the time. I'm one of them. I cannot sit in the house and do
yeah,
nothing. My missus loves because she works in a care home, bless her, for dementia, assistant manager, and she does 3 12-hour shifts in. So then on a 2 or 3 days off, whatever it is,
just wants to
she doesn't like
chill.
doing anything. She
Yeah.
likes lying there, and I can't do that no matter what.
Well,
No, yeah.
congratulations.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah. I popped the
congratulations.
question while we're in Australia. Yeah, I was 7 years
Yeah.
in. About time I popped the question, I suppose. You'll be Mrs. Fitzharris.
Yeah.
We've actually been looking at a load of wedding venues. We'll have a Lake District or
Yeah.
Cheshire. Yeah, anyone wants to hit me up, come on. Be a special
Sponsored.
offer. Nice. Sponsored
Yeah.
wedding. That'll do. Come on. We'll do the pod
Yeah,
there.
there we go. It's sorted. I'll
So
bring
you
a
just
few.
you
Yeah.
just got married. How are you feeling?
I'm here with the bride and groom.
But yeah, it's top. Well,
Is it safe to say like that show?
it changed my life completely.
Yeah.
It completely changed my life. It just sorted me out. I was wanting to change job for a while. I've changed job.
Mm.
I'm in a job where I get apprentices roles in IT and
Yeah.
digital sector. And I was selling gas electric before, which there's nothing rewarding about selling
Yeah.
people 50p a unit or whatever it were at the time when all prices went mad.
Oh God.
Whereas this, I'm getting a young person a job.
Yeah.
It's rewarding for me. So obviously I do sales
I feel
because
like I feel like you should be like knighted or something. I feel like we
I
should
can
get
just
like
talk the back legs off a donkey. So I do sales just because it's natural to
yeah.
speak to people. And I don't know, it just completely sorted me out, the show. It really did. And
Mm.
that's why, so me and Dylan now, that's what I was saying earlier. That's why I'm going off in a tangent.
You're on the show for it.
So
Perfect show.
me and Dylan, we're actually starting this clothing brand. I'm not releasing the name yet.
That's
We
all
want
right.
it all, keeping it all under wraps. But the idea is the first item of each drop, we're gonna raffle off
Yeah.
to. We're gonna have like a set of selected charities that we want to have all the time. Cancer charities
Yeah.
specifically, but ones like the Azalea Foundation, or I went to a charity ball the other night at Mummy's Star,
Yeah.
which is, how mad is it's the only charity that deals directly with women who are suffering with cancer in and around pregnancy. There's no others. How's that even a thing? They've been going 10 years. Like, you'd think, like, there's loads of stuff where they have different ones, and that when I went to the charity ball, we actually sat on the table at the same, this woman who was actually from Bolton,
Yeah.
who had who's still suffering with cancer now, but around pregnancy, and I was just completely moved, and I just thought, definitely one of our chosen
Yeah.
charities that we're going to be doing. Between August and October, at some point, my work's announced we can have 2 days off paid if it's for charity. So the plan is we're going to go and do, I think in Scotland, I'm sure there's either 6 or 8 mountains which are all in the
Oh
same
yeah.
bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I want to do them all in 48 hours, either for all the charities we're selecting, or maybe just Mummy Stark. We've not done anything for them
Yeah.
yet, but yeah, we've got a lot of stuff we want to do, me and Dylan, to make a change. And I don't want
Mate,
to just
oh
be one of those people who
God.
sit there and do nothing. I get rewarded from someone feeling good,
Yeah.
or I do a lot of charity work. I always have done. I've done quite a few charity DJ sets. I've got another charity set on 15th of August in Manchester for Grand Theft Audio, that for mental health
Yeah.
awareness. I don't like doing nothing when I know I can.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm out this weekend.
Do you know what
Coventry, London,
I
back
love it.
home.
With that though, we obviously I talk about like coping mechanisms a lot on the show. I've kind of picked up a lot of my coping mechanisms, the main ones that I use now, through having these kind of conversations with people. Aside from obviously the incredible charity work that you do, I know obviously you DJ a hell of a lot. Is there anything else like when things
Go
do get a little,
completely Pete
yeah?
Tong. Like,
How do you navigate that now?
well, the main things, me, I need a distraction. When I was younger, my mum took me through a few things because I thought I had ADHD, but they said I'm like more along the lines of being bipolar, and they were like, "Oh, you can go
Wow.
on medication," and I thought, I'm not having stuff in my head. Other people disagree. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I feel like you've got to do something to keep you out of that mindset, and
Yeah.
for me, it's either music, exercise, or just speaking,
Yeah.
and that's it. I'll go. Ash says going on a run in the gym does not count. You go on a run, you go outside for a run. Even you want to just go on a massive walk. He said
Yeah.
going in the gyms for weights. He said that's it, and I do agree with that. I've got flat
That's
feet. If I start
interesting.
running on the treadmill, everyone, you can, you know what I mean? It's like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
I did my foot in before Christmas, but I've got the exact same. I've got really wide flat feet.
Yeah. Well, I've got really skinny flat feet, so all my shoes look really tight, but they're not. I've just got like feet like hands. So it's well annoying.
I did wonder why you walked in on your feet, on your feet, on your hands. It's like, oh god, here he is. Okay, so music. We're a music and mental health podcast, and I'm a big believer in music soundtracking the good, the bad, the ugly, the breakups, like the holidays. There's a song or an album that kind of captures those
Yeah.
moments. What are your go-tos when it comes to like, for a bit of escapism?
Well, me, I like heavy music. I'm into me drum and bass, me
Yeah.
jungle, like me garage, me dubstep, breakbeat, anything above like 140 BPM.
Yeah.
Like, Bolton's massive for donk, bounce music. I just need something with pace. I'm a quick person. I've never been someone who likes slow music.
Yeah.
Like when we've been out in town and stuff. I don't like going out in town because about music's crap. Like we've been out in town and gone back to one of my mates and he's put like techno on or something. I've projectile vomited because it's just I've been at this fast pace all night and then this proper slow tunes come on. Everyone's fist
techno
pumping,
song.
and I'm like, oh no, because the room's spinning because everything's slowed down. And, oh no, and then bang, I've been sick and I've gone out. I'm going.
Oh, well, no, that you were actually sick.
No, I've actually, yeah.
Oh, I thought you.
You know, I'm telling you, I can't do slow music. It sends me, honestly. I'm a quick person. So
techno music makes me sick.
It's hanging. It's hanging. I've made loads of money selling tickets for it over the years, but yeah, I've tried them all. Not for me. Quick only. But cheer me up. I'll either jump on my decks myself because I've got my own studio, or if I stick like a Shadow Demon Coalition mix on, like Bassman and Trigger and everyone, or like
has that always been there?
Mix.
Is that like did you grow up around that it to?
I've always I didn't even know about drum and bass till like 14, 15. And then I heard a song and I was like, wow, that's different. I'm into it. Because with house and stuff, it's all I know drum and bass is electronically produced, but you can play it live.
Yeah.
You can. Do you know what I mean? You see, like Goldie do the live sets when they get all the drum kits out and all the different instruments. It comes from an original. Do you know what I mean? A bass and a drum.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So as soon as I heard that, I thought, this is different. I'm feeling it. I'm loving it. And obviously, it's English music. It's black inspired English music, and I love it. I'm one of them. I do love anything English. So then when I found this genre. And I grew up on a lot of rap music growing up. I just thought it's like everything all into one that I've always liked, and it's me.
Is there a particular song that needs to be playing to get you on the dance floor?
For drum and bass wise, any Liquid song will get me up.
Yeah.
Any Liquid song, like a bit of Wilkinson, Chasing States, anything like that. But if I like talking something deep, it's Alex Reese, Pulp Fiction, anytime. Love it. Play it every single set. I think it came out in 1998. I play it every single set. I love it. Renegade snares, love it. Honestly, I just love proper heavy jungle drums. Like my set last weekend, I weren't even meant to play any drum and bass, but I had Artful Dodger, Garage legend. He played 20 minutes of D&B before me. And DJ Luck, Garage legend. He played one garage song with a little bit of Luck.
Bass.
The rest of it, like house and like dance hall, and then last 20-minute drum and bass just before me. And I thought, well, I'm getting on. I'm playing drum and bass because they booked me for a garage and bass line set, and then because I've known them for years, and then first 25-minute, half-hour garage and bass line, and then bang, I thought drum and bass is coming off. They can do it. I'm going to show them how to do it. Bosh! It was top. It was sick. It was top.
Do you find it quite? Not repetitive, is in a bad way, because I had this conversation. I'm going to do an awful thing and I'm name drop here, but I had Sean Paul on the show and he said the same thing about reggae and kind of dancehall music. It puts him in a bit of a not a trance, but almost like a meditative state that kind of allows him to then kind of calm down, even though it's like these big, loud kind of like drums and stuff that you associate with like jumping around. It kind of puts him in a almost like a calm state.
Yeah. Exactly.
Weird.
Because I get a lot. So there's a lot of people who they like drum and bass, like they love going raves, listen to it,
Yeah.
but they won't listen to it at home. I always get people ask me, so what do you
That's
listen
true.
when you're
Yeah.
chilling? Drum and bass. My alarm's drum and bass. Do you know what I mean? Like, I listen to it all day, every day. And some people can't relate. They're like, what? You're off your head. Well, that's just me.
We need something like that to wake you up in the
Do you know what I
morning.
mean? I just love it. I love every single bit about it. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that listen to complete different genres, but then when they go out, oh yeah, I love drum and bass.
Yeah.
When I've had 10 drinks. Do you then? Do you?
Oh, that one Jason Status song. On the flip side of that, is there a song or an album that, I mean, I know obviously you wear your heart on your sleeve. Like this is another reason why I have a lot of respect for you. Is like, if the emotion's there, it needs to come out. There's no point bottling up. Do you know what I mean? Is there a song or an album that kind of does that to you? It brings out
Well, song that I listen to. Some people might find this proper depressing, but if I do want to get a proper cry out, or it happens a lot in karaoke because of my mum. She was 61, and when my granddad died, their songs, the funeral songs, come up in karaoke a lot
yeah.
because people who do karaoke are in the 50s a lot of the time and stuff. So, like my granddad's funeral songs, "My Way," so that always gets me going. Like, it's already the voice.
I heard your voice.
And then my mum. Dean Parrish, I'm on my way. Diana Ross, Remember Me, and what's the other one? I got him in my notes, but she was a big Northern Soul fan, my mum, and yeah, they proper get me going every time. But it's good tears. I do. It sounds mad. I like crying. I do like crying.
It's refreshing, and do you know what? It's almost like a release for me, especially if I'm crying over like a memory or like a song that puts me in a certain kind of headspace. It's just a reminder for me that like I'm allowed to do this.
Exactly.
I should not be. I don't give myself a hard time when I'm happy or if I'm laughing. So there is absolutely no reason why I should be giving myself a hard time if I want to cry.
You're laughing and go, whoa, whoa.
Why you're not allowed to? You're not allowed to smile.
No.
You're not allowed to smile. Man up. You're not allowed to smile. It's like what? No. If I want to cry, I'm going to cry. Like
exactly. I do think the show did change me a lot on that side because I've always been. I am a proper like lad.
Yeah.
Like, I love going out with lads, but I've never like shown me emotion. Like, I've always done acting and stuff growing up, loads of theatre shows, and always been able to connect with my emotions. But I've never, I don't know, I've never been known to be much of a crier unless it was at a funeral. Whereas I feel like now I cry easier at loads of things. Like as soon as when I was at that memorial last night. As soon as Carl stood on the table saying thanks everyone for coming, I'm streaming, like flipping out.
Well, I guess it kind of makes it all very real again, doesn't it?
It does.
There's a like. To be
I've
fair, I
lost.
want to.
It killed it really. When I know when I have someone close to me going through loss, it's like I feel everything again. So I know exactly what you're saying because I was saying to my missus last night, I just thought I couldn't imagine losing you.
Yeah.
I could not imagine losing, especially in circumstances like that. It would just.
It almost makes you appreciate what you have.
It really
rather than
does.
what you don't, doesn't it?
And I give her a big hug because I had I had 6, 7 wickeds and 2 turbo.
Wait, what colour?
Have you heard? We're on blue because that was Steph's drink, and then I'm having iron brew ones because they ran out, and then you had a turbocharger.
No.
So I'd never even heard of this till yesterday morning.
It sounds like a heartburn.
So yeah. Bottle of Smirnoff Ice.
No.
Which fills like half a pint, and then you fill the rest of it with lager.
No. Who
get you off your rocker though?
Who thought that would be a good idea?
But I'm like hooked now. I've never even heard it. So yes, I finished the last 2 drinks with them. Mrs. picked me up straight from work. Going up to Cash, went, what are you smirking at? I went, well, I said I weren't going to drink.
It's the rocket fuel.
I've had 2 turbochargers. Well, they might not even called turbochargers, There's something like that. But yeah, half a pint with a Smirnoff Ice. Preparing for this 10K. I mean, I weren't going to be drinking, but I can't help it. I'm a massive people person. Yeah. I'm not one of them who can sit in the house on their own. I sit in the house on my own, I get overthinking a load of things. Whereas I love just being out and I was just reminiscing and talking about loads of old stories with loads of people there. And I just love talking to people. So I ended up having 10 drinks or whatever.
I love it. Love it.
Can't help it.
You mentioned something then a minute ago that I kind of picked up on, and I don't know if this is for the same reason that I keep things in my notes, but you mentioned about keeping the songs in your notes. Why?
Because I like to remind myself of things.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. Although you might not think that you've got a bad memory or anything, I've got loads of stuff in my notes that
Yeah.
I like to keep there and go through and remind myself of things. And it's like even go look at my mum's Facebook every day
Yeah.
to remind myself of her, putting myself back through the memories and the pain in a way to be ready for the next day.
Yeah.
And good, and every single memory, whether it's good or bad, is a memory. And I do constantly remind myself of everything. I'm a bit of a nut right, I suppose.
No.
But...
The reason why I picked up on it is because I do the same thing. And when you said notes, especially with the songs, when my mum gets rushed back into hospital, like it happens like 2-3 times a year. It's like I have to be ready to almost plan. I've planned a funeral like 4 or 5 times a year because I'm just thinking this is going to be it now. And every time I'm very fucking lucky, like every time she kind of like she pulls through, but I keep the kind of the date, the timestamp, how I was feeling, what was happening, all
You've
in my
got to be
notes.
ready in those situations. That's the thing. My mum picked her songs on her deathbed on that day. Originally, all up until she was on her deathbed, she was saying the whole time, when the curtains close, you're playing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead. I said, we're not playing that, Mum.
A woman.
I said, comical purposes or not. I said, I'm not bursting out laughing at your funeral. I said, it's not happening. And then I said, because that's what I said to her. She went to me on a deathbed when we were saying about doing the final audition. She was going, so I'm assuming you're going to do the eulogy then. And I went, I can if you want. And I've got my eulogy still in my notes. And she said, I want you to talk about her best friends. My mum were, again, a big people person. Little like stories about her growing up. Loved our holidays in Turkey. And she wanted to say about my friends, because they all seen her as, she's seen them all as family. Particularly DJ and Deck, who my best friend, she said her adopted sons, and they burst out crying. I said that obviously in the eulogy, because the thing was, my mum, have you seen Kevin and Perry? So large. That's why on my pause I call her Mrs. P. Patterson.
That's my surname.
Because that's why we used to always call it, though.
Jam sandwich, Miss Patterson.
My mates, we don't even knock on the door. They'd walk in the house and say, all right, Patterson, all right, P. She'd go, who's that then? And because that all came about just because when we used to go to Turkey, we took it as a DVD. I grew up, and my mum made me grow up at Harry Enfield and all that. Yeah. And it just made me laugh made off. And we was calling her P and Patterson the whole holiday, and then it stuck.
Oh, do you know what, mate? Like, I don't know you, like, other than obviously connecting on like Instagram and obviously recording this, but honestly, you're an absolute godsend. Like, your mom must be so goddamn. She's done a phenomenal job.
She has. Sure, the best. Top woman, my mum.
You can tell. You can tell. And I genuinely just want to thank you for being here for a starter, but just for being so open and vulnerable, because I didn't think there'd be someone out there that would understand how I was feeling when I had to kind of do the things I had to for my mom and stuff like that. But to do it in such a beautiful and inspiring way, the way that you have, I'm almost in awe of you and like the way you carry yourself. And this is, I genuinely, I can sit and talk to you all night, but I just genuinely thank you so much for joining me for Waffle.
No, honestly, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Like I said, I can chat for England. As soon as you start doing the 24-hour Waffle, that's it. I'm here.
This is the last time I give you any Haribo.